I'm so pretty, I'm so pretty, I'm so pretty. Okay, well, it was a short-lived piece.
Where the heck were you, bag?
I was pretty much here the whole time.
You forgot to pick me up. You left me in the Bastion.
Really? Right. Oh, right. Yeah, that's where I last left you. Yeah.
No one gave me a ride, so I had to jump off of a Bastion and walk to Oribos. Do you have any idea what's at the bottom of a Bastion? Los Angeles. And then I had to bribe someone to fly me all the way up to Oribos. I did things to get up there that I regret.
Like what?
Watching your videos. Hey, Shadowlands is coming soon.
Hey, it's Sol, and welcome back to Warcraft Weekly, the show that was wrong. World of Warcraft Shadowlands is coming on October 27th, so erase the previous dates that I made you put down and mark the new one on your calendars with a pen. We'll get to that, but first, tribute to the Brutosaur party people over on Twitch, the supporters who've kept this channel running, newcomers, Dan and James, welcome, and to all of you who helped me get to 40,000 subscribers. That's a lot of bots. Thanks, machines. And now let's dive right into the obvious, the thing that we've been yearning for, the sigh of relief, the review of the album Folklore, no, the release date of Shadowlands on October 27th worldwide. A simultaneous release means that for folks in Paris, France, Shadowlands launches right at 12 a.m. midnight, just like the good old days. But since this is a global launch, technically it also launches at 4 p.m. on a Monday over on the Blizzard side of the planet. It means that I get it first. Haha! Sorry folks, but you know, West Side is the best side. We got it all here. We've got Blizzard headquarters, we've got Disneyland, even though it's closed. We've got chicken and waffles, we've got high rent, and fires, and you know, come on. We've also got a raid release schedule already. Season 1 of Shadowlands begins on November 10th, so at least I got it right that something was gonna happen that day. But that means we get a whopping 2 weeks of Shadowlands before raiding begins, which is interesting. That's 1 week less of non-season grinding and bitching over there being no content. That means there's only so much farming that we can do, so much rep and legendary stuff and renowned stuff to get before it's time to throw our bodies at Castle Nathria, Mythic Plus, and the PvP season. We won't be very far into our renown, let alone our soulbinds. I'm not even 100% sure that it's possible to get cauldron recipes before that. It means that when the season begins, US Guild Limit has less than 2 weeks to win the race to world first. Otherwise, it's gonna be a night where you see Max's stream and he's gonna be like, Whelp's left side, even side, fire. Let's f***ing go. Dang, there's a good chance that I'll still be here, house sitting when Shadowlands launches, and you know, I'm gonna be doing the big leveling stream. Stay tuned for that. Don't forget to follow. And like, my in-laws are gonna be like, dude, he's been in that room for 12 hours. Segue. Is Shadowlands starting too soon? I already asked the question last week, yeah, I know, but now we've got to face cold, cruel reality. Soon, now it has a date. It feels like there's still a lot on Blizzard's plate. Huge changes, including changes to monks and priests, happened just recently. Covenant abilities are still being retuned, and we're still not too sure on how conduit upgrades are going to work, if that's even a thing, and so much more. Shadowlands is launching 2 weeks earlier than even I expected, so Blizzard must be feeling confident. From our perspective as fans, I don't see a reason why they couldn't just have pushed Shadowlands back by a couple of weeks, but it appears that whatever those reasons could be, they're fixable. I totally feel the sentiment behind concerned and worried fans after Battle for Azeroth, and the mistakes made during its development. Its biggest mistakes weren't just with an underwhelming system like Azerite, but to not give themselves the room to reiterate from an underwhelming system like Azerite. Shadowlands doesn't have enough dev time left for massive changes like player housing or a new class, but I think it's in a much better position than BFA was, as long as there's no surprise feature dropped mid expansion. Still, I would love to read some of your persisting concerns in today's comments. Not just how you think the players feel, not how the so-called majority feels, just you. How do you feel? The worst feedback is no feedback, although some of it can be like really bad. But what worries do you have like 2 months before launch? Maybe I'll try to take these and address them in a video if I'm able to, or try to forward this feedback to Blizzard, however I can. While you think about that, let's get caught up in some of the hype from this week. I told you that it would be a big week for Blizzard. Just before the official launch date reveal, we looked at Bastion, the first episode of the Afterlives series that was shown in a trailer earlier this week. A link to the cinematic is in the description below, so be sure to look at it if you haven't already. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil you here. The cinematic does provide a good bit of context that sets up the Shadowlands storyline, and I can already claim it's my favorite because of just how strong these story beats are, and how likely they're going to resonate into the main story arc of the expansion. Blizzard also put out a schedule of when the remaining 3 episodes release, which is basically the next 3 Thursdays, so stay tuned for some more analysis of those, and who knows, perhaps the week afterwards will be the launch of the Shadowlands pre-expansion patch and Where Are My Zombies? Where are my zombies? I haven't seen zombies for weeks and I'm hungry for brains. The upcoming episodes will predictably go in the same order as our leveling experience in Shadowlands, from Bastion to Maldraxxus to Ardenweald and finally Revendreth. No guarantees, but sometime after, I'm going to try and squeeze in a lore video. Haven't done those in a while. I'm going to squeeze in a lore video to ask a very basic question. What's the point of the Shadowlands? Not the expansion, but the Shadowlands itself. What is its purpose? As a little brain exercise, I would like you to really sit down and think about that for a bit. I know there are a lot of pieces missing, but after learning what we know about the lore, I'm sort of asking myself, what is its purpose? And while Sylvanas is a genocidal maniac, I have to wonder, are her motivations as evil and insane as we think they are? Okay, evil probably, yeah, but is there an actual point to her madness? I think it's going to be worth a look. The cinematics were just the start this week though. Blizzard wasted negative time with the swag and the money grabbing too, with large premium prints from the cinematic and the Shadowlands zones, illustrated versions of previously released novels, and even an Arthas statue for sale, further pushing Blizzard's worst kept secret that yeah, Arthas is going to make some sort of appearance in Shadowlands, especially after, just watch the Afterlives thing. Just go. Let's move on to some of the beta highlights. Yeah. Well, there's only one highlight that's really needed, in my opinion. In this build, transmogrification restrictions on artifact weapons have been lifted even further, meaning that artifacts that take up 2 weapon slots, like the Doomhammer, main hand / offhand caster artifacts, and weapon and shield artifacts, can now be transmog individually. Ugh. I just farted. So for example, a protection paladin who uses the Truth Guard, which is a weapon and a shield, I can go to the shield category and change just the shield. And then I can go to the one-handed sword category because the weapon half of this artifact is technically a sword, and choose between all the weapon skins I've unlocked, including my precious Mage Tower skin. Oh yes, my dream of being a shirtless murder hobo with angel wings is just a couple of months away, or sooner, because this is available to check out on the PTR right now if you want to start messing around. Now for a few follow-ups from past mentions, it looks like Blizzard is taking a pass at the dungeon perks that players can take advantage of as long as one member of their party belongs to a specific covenant. Specifically, the Plaguefall dungeon buff was given a well-deserved nerf to its haste and damage reduction buffs. A reasonable question popped up in comments here and there, like if a certain something like this is obviously overpowered even in test, how did it make it in the first place if it's just that ridiculous? I can only speculate on the answer, but maybe this perspective will help. One is that whoever added this value just didn't notice or care. After all, it's alpha or beta or whatever, and their bigger concern was to make sure that they entered a number greater than 0 and not an emoji. Function first, feedback later. The other answer is a bit more sinister though. Maybe they just do it for laughs. I mean, yeah, okay, not everyone laughed, but who knows? Maybe some of these developer people do it to see how big of a comment count they can get on Wowhead. Health potions received an update as well. A while back, we talked about combat and utility potions changing to no longer be usable just once per encounter, but have a 5-minute cooldown instead. Now it looks like the same is being applied to health potions. This is kind of a blow to alchemy, which relied on the high consumption rate of potions thanks to Mythic Plus players. On the other hand, I always thought that the once per combat thing was a little bit arbitrary, almost like it was there just for esports. A 5-minute cooldown obviously changes dungeon and raid encounter strategy a bit, but at least this seems more consistent. And that's the show. Kind of sudden, right? There was a lot that went down this week, notably the Afterlives episode, but that's all spoilery stuff. And these days I want to keep the weekly clean, even though Bob's still around. But I feel this mix of relief and anxiety. It's like, Shadowlands is coming, alright, super exciting, crazy stuff. But Shadowlands is coming, crap, there's so much for me to prepare for. I got a Brutosaur to buy, there's stuff going away in the pre-patch, FOMO, etc. miscellaneous. But I think it'll be okay, and we still got 2 months left. This whole ride through Shadowlands development is still not over. We still have some time left, but I'm very, very pleased and very excited that many of you have joined me up to this point. So I want to thank you all for making it to the end, and stay tuned for next week for, of course, more coverage, more updates, more news, more bitching, more concerns, more all of that stuff. Of course, please like the video if you enjoyed yourself, and subscribe for more of this and all things Warcraft. We'll see you next week. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.